You are listening to ChartingWealth.com's daily market review for Tuesday, the 14th of April, 2015. This is where the total market ended up today. This is our two-day chart. Now, if you are a fan like I am, and in fact, I have it right out here in front of me, the Stock Traders Almanac for 2015, you would know that Monday before expiration Friday, the Dow has been up 18 of the last 26 times. Now, it was up again today. And in fact, we saw it coming. How did we? Well, we saw the market flattening out here. And then 6 days ago, we saw it starting to drive up. In fact, we've got a beautiful trend line drawn now. We're starting to get a crossover today on the two-day chart on the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, and we have the derivative oscillator also crossing over. We are getting up to start crossing over the 30 and the 34 period moving linear regression lines. Now, let's revert back. We can see even more of this move if we go back to the 4-hour chart. You can see back around the 6th of April when we had a crossover going up on the IYY on the 4-hour chart. And again, IYY is a total market that gives us a good look at what's happening in the total market. And check out what we saw happen. We saw a drive up. We saw a little bit of indecision here and then more of a drive up. We now have a good two-day trend line that we will follow. And we have a nice long build going from, where did this low? Around 104 all the way up now to 106 today. Now, this is interesting. The day ended with a bunch of indecision here. This is just a 4-hour chart. We do have green crossing over red on the moving linear regression line. That's a nice signal. And of course, we have a little bit of convergence here. We don't have as strong an up move as we had earlier. That's right at the end of the day. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. But we do have the makings of a good trend that started several days ago and has continued to push up. And like we said, if you pay attention to long-term trends, this is yet another. I guess this makes this 19 of the last 27 Dow movements for this day have been up. So it's happened again. Now, let's go back to the two-day chart and we will go to SPY, which is the Standard & Poor's 500. Again, is that not a beautiful trend line right there? We actually drew that a couple of days ago, and look what we have. We have a cross going up. We also have the derivative oscillator flipping over. This is back on the 10th, and we can continue to see strong up movement on SPY. Now, let's revert back to our 4-hour chart, and you can continue to see where this started. Again, similar to the total market, happened around the 6th. We had a little bit of indecision over 4 periods, which of course on a half-day chart equals 2 days. Then we had more of a buildup. Now, what is interesting, this last 4-hour here, also a lot of indecision. All of the main movement, not the wicks, but the main movement was all within the prior candle. In fact, within the prior 2 candles. So that is interesting to watch. What's happening there? I don't know. A little bit of convergence here. And again, we see the derivative oscillator moving back a little bit. So a little bit of uncertainty toward the end of the day. But again, strong up movement, particularly this morning. So now let's move back. The last index that we're going to look at, we'll go to the 2-day chart. We'll look at the Qs, and again, we can actually redraw our line here, can't we? We can do a little bit better of a job here. Ooh, that's almost 4, but we'll make it a little bit better. There we go. Now we've got 3 candles that are connected on the 2-day chart, not quite crossing over yet. Derivative oscillator looks like it's working on doing it. The MACD on the 2-day has not yet done so. But let's revert back to the 4-hour chart and see what we see. Well, we see again strong up movement, little bit of attempt to roll back here. Again, not shown by the MACD. The derivative oscillator continued to build and for the first time broke off a little today. Again, a little more indecision toward the end of the day, but still strong above the 2-day trend line. Green crossing over red on the moving linear regression line. So let's continue to see how much longer this plays out. Hopefully, if you got in back here at what was that, around 105, you've seen your position do well all the way up. Oh, I guess the high today was all the way up to 108. So hope you've been enjoying some good sound moves in the Qs. Remember again, April is typically the last of the 6 good months, and today is typically a strong day in the market and was. Now, let's go back to the 2-day chart, and we're going to go to the only thing we look at different from the indexes, and that is gold. And look at what gold has done. We talked about gold's up move from around 111 to up around 117.47. And what do we see happening 4 days ago? Well, we saw gold start to run over, start to move over and down. Again, we still don't have a crossing going down. Thought that was going to happen maybe here on this red candle. It did not. We have broken the trend. We did have a lot of indecision back on the 8th, and we've seen that continue to play out. Not a huge down move on gold, and we don't have a crossing yet going down. What's gold going to do? Hard to say just yet. If I were betting, I would say that gold probably is losing some of that momentum, and it could move back on down to 111. But gold is a little different animal. Before we make any call like that, let's look at what it's doing on the 4-hour chart. Interesting. Looks like it is trying to roll off. We see where gold rolled over here, and we see where the derivative oscillator pulled back on us. And we really haven't seen a lot to confirm that, though. It then moved, of course, back up, but it is petering around. Looks like it could be losing some steam, digesting something. Is it going to move all the way back down here to around 111? Cannot tell. It's tough on gold right now. We do see that there was a little bit, we had a small crossover, a little bit of going up and then a cross back down. Does it have enough energy to cross again? Hard to tell. More available for a down move here with the Bollinger Bands, our volatility bands showing us. And we still have red over green going down on our moving linear regression line. Like I said, we could go ahead and start drawing, if we wanted, a trend line going down on the 4-hour chart. And we can see that the derivative oscillator has backed up a little bit, not as strong a downtrend as it was before, although the divergence in the MACD is about as strong. So if I had to bet, which I don't, I would think that gold is probably going to keep moving down. But again, you know, it's not doing anything strong yet. So hopefully you got in this strong up move and have played that out and have taken your money and enjoyed it. And you are not waiting around to see what gold is going to do right here, because it is a hard read at this point. I hope that you have a great day trading on Tuesday, the 14th of April. It was an interesting day in the market, an up day like we've seen in the past. And don't forget, this is the last good month before we go into sell in May and go away. Can May be a good month? Sure, but the best 6 months ends in April. I wish you the best of trading. Read the charts, get that knowledge. Good trading to you. Hope the market's great to you today.